So, babe, it is, what day is it?
Today is December 1st, 2012.
A couple days before, the end of the year, according to the Mayan calendar.
Yes.
Now, that would normally put, I think, a lot of people in perhaps a bad mood. And today, specifically being World AIDS Day, people are always, I think, in a little bit of a somber mood. This is the 25th anniversary of World AIDS Day. And, it's definitely a day about not just getting tested and remembering to get your status, but remembering the past, right?
Right.
And people who have gone before and people who are suffering through the disease at various stages right now. And I wanted to just take a moment of silence to remember those people and what the community's been through for the past 31, perhaps plus years. But also that it's not just about looking to the past; it's also about looking to the forward, the future, as what we've accomplished, right?
True.
And where we are today, and that people are living longer, and that we're detecting more and more people earlier, or we're trying to. And that should put us in a little bit, perhaps, of a better mood, right?
True.
Now, what else are we also beginning in this month of December?
In this month of December, we're in a celebratory mode.
That's right.
Right, here at Q-Talk.
And other places.
Right.
Some people might call it the most wonderful time
Of the
year. Some people
Right.
might hate it.
True.
And what are you supposed to do with certain parts of your house at the most wonderful time of the year?
Most people, well, let's say a lot of people, especially in the good US of A, are going to have holiday music, a tree to trim, and festive goodies.
And what do you do with your hallways?
Deck them?
Coming to you live from Studio B at the smallest version of Rockefeller Center that there ever was. I'm Jody Ganzik.
And I'm Babe Kaler.
And it's Joe and Babe number 99. As we put you in a little more of a festive mood on this 1st of December 2012 and World AIDS Day, we bring you some lovely new holiday music that we acquired legally.
All right.
And that we'll have running throughout various programs on the network throughout the month of December. And next week, babe, we're getting old.
Yeah, we're going to be celebrating. We're going to
be 100.
We're going to have a birthday. A birthday in the house, okay?
How are you doing, babe?
I'm doing well today, dear.
It's a pretty good day,
It is. Nice outside.
It's nice outside. You wouldn't know it, for all of our people listening to us around the country, around the world. It's a beautiful, balmy 79 degrees. It's kind of like that old song, Mele Kaliki Maka, from Hawaii. The palm trees are swaying and so forth. But for those of you who hate the Christmas music, we'll just turn it off because we know some people just can't stand it because it starts so early. Who was telling me the other day that they heard like Christmas music on no, it wasn't like a station. It was in some store that they had started it in like September. And I'm like,
okay,
really?
I think I might have a problem with going back into that store at least for a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I was a little upset on the fact that holiday music started on the radio on one of my favorite stations that I listened to.
Would that be,
yeah, that one.
That one. Right.
Uh-huh. And
they're not a sponsor, so we won't
right.
mention
Okay.
them.
Exactly. You see how I covered over that real good.
Yep,
All right. Anyway,
yeah.
them. And
yeah.
but it started the week before Thanksgiving, and that was like a little disheartening to
It
me.
shouldn't be before Thanksgiving.
Okay,
You
right.
know, at least have your turkey and the trimmings and,
Let's
you know,
give
get
thanks.
through that whole thing.
Okay, right.
And, you know, I was, you know, Facebook, of course, has taken over, it seems, everyone's lives over the past couple of years. So this year was sort of just fascinating to watch, like the inundated of hey, we're putting up our tree, we're having the pre-putting up our tree party, then we're having
Right.
the after we put up the tree after party, and we had the putting up the tree party itself.
Right, but I just want to get to the parties.
Well,
the,
right,
the
yeah,
party
the heck
parties.
with that.
Okay, do all the
We
decorating.
put up
do
a tree,
whatever
but I
you
think it
gonna
was
do.
causing interference, so it's not lit up. But we have the mic row.
Oh, that was.
I think that may have
what
been
it
causing the
was.
interference. Yeah, we have
Wow.
with sensitive things here.
And
But
it's such a
anyways,
fabulous tree.
it is. It's
It
a
is.
rainbow,
It's
but it's dark.
and it's really. It's a tiny
It has a
tree,
gold
but
star.
that's okay. It's the holidays,
We'll post a picture of it somewhere.
right? So tell me, what'd you do this week?
This week was kind of, you know, this is one of those weeks when you go back to work after a short week and you're just like, ugh, I just don't want to be here for a 40-hour work week. So other than that, I spent some of my time getting some things ready to roll for some of the changes that we're making upcoming, and, you know, doing some graphics. I updated some graphics on our page and
I saw that.
the Facebook page. We got a little more of a winter theme going on. But it was just kind of like, just getting back to going to work. Yeah, last week, you know, 3 days. It's nice. 4-day weekend. It's just wonderful. And Thanksgiving for me, of course, I am nearly a month into being car free now, which has been, which has really not been as scary as I thought it would be. It really wasn't. I was going to go out to Gay Skate the other day, and I decided against it. But I had rented a reservation for a Zip car ready to go, so there was no issue there, just in case I couldn't get a ride. But, you know, my friends took me out and about when we went to our various little Thanksgiving things,
Right.
and that was wonderful because I didn't have to drive, so I could have a couple glasses of wine, which was wonderful. So
Did you get stuffed? Did you like stuff yourself?
I had like 2.5 plates, and then we had dessert, and then there was the appetizers, and then all the other stuff. So I had a wonderful time. And then the thing was, we were done by like 7 o'clock.
Okay, but then by 7 o'clock you need to be done because you have to sit yourself somewhere. Okay.
You know what I did? I did some walking. I went down to downtown Phoenix, and I saw them putting the finishing touches on the ice skating rink downtown,
Right.
which was cool. And then I went out to Tempe, and I saw what might have been going on at Mill Avenue, which there was nothing going on that night. And then I did some more walking around. I was just like,
No, I ate
know.
so much that
You
it was
just had
like
to-
I just had to like, as they would say, veg
were like-
because I was just like full.
yeah,
Okay.
you were
Yeah, I was beat.
flatlined.
I was beat. Oh, that was, that's what I thought it was. You and all these new sound effects between you and Clayton, I just don't know.
Well, let's
I
wait
just
in that
know.
we don't have all the damn bells and the buzzer and everything else going on.
Right.
They're going to have eventually so many sound effects that I think they're just going to drive themselves into oblivion.
True. Okay, so
And listeners, feel free to, if you're listening live and you want to talk about, we'll be talking about World AIDS Day. If you want to call in, the number, of course, is 888-791-9294, and feel free to join us in the chat room. And if you can't join us during the live show, if you have comments, that number also takes voicemails for when we're off the air. So don't
Right.
be shy.
And heading into that, before we do get into the
So so you stuffed yourself?
yes,
then,
I
right?
stuffed myself.
Mhm.
I cooked, and started on Wednesday evening, and I cooked and
She cooked some
we
more.
ate and I cooked and it was a good meal. So I'm pretty happy. Oh gosh, there he goes again. Anyways, we got a sponsor,
That's right. Ace London,
right?
our good friend, who was actually there, I think, on holiday for the rest of the year. A number of our syndicated shows are on holiday. I think we're the only one that's continuing to make shows for the end of the year. Through the Needle's Eye by Ace London. Ace London is an interesting guy. That's really the wrong description for him, but he is an amazing person who has done just about everything in his life.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Entertainment and entertaining the troops for years and years and years. And he has his own show, London Calling, which is on in the mornings on Sundays, and then in the evenings on one other day during the week. I don't remember. But his audiobook, Through the Needle's Eye, A Passage Through Time, is available at his website, london-calling.net. And it is kind of the human civilization as told by like a third party looking outside from the universe.
You know what I was thinking about it with,
It's like
with
$9.99.
It was almost like Twilight Zone-ish kind of.
Yeah.
If you think about
yeah. Did you
that
listen
and
to
look
part
at-
of the
Yes.
the prologue? Or,
Right, and
yeah.
that's why I was like, "Ooh, that could be."
I know.
Yeah.
So go out and it's the holidays, so I mean, it would make a great gift for someone that you know who might want to check it out, or a gift for yourself. So go out and go get yourself a couple 100,000 copies of his audiobook and make him really happy.
Yep. Sure, it would. I'm sure it would. What's going on in the community around?
Around here,
Yeah,
around the
around
world?
here, around the world.
Well,
Anything new and exciting that you need? You just must get off your chest this week.
She looks at me like I have some exciting thing. I need to look at my own notes and say what I was going to actually say. No.
No.
I mean, except for, I know we were going to talk about the what's been going on in our community in terms of the hate crimes that were going on, which have happened over the past couple weeks.
Right, or whether or not all of them will be classified as hate crimes.
Well, that's true.
And so they're going to be having a discussion on that and a press conference actually at One Voice on, is that Monday or Tuesday?
Let me hit the link here because
Okay.
if I can get
because that is coming up. But there have been some
is this
incidents
week.
within the community that people are wanting to be sure that voices are heard and that people are paying attention to their surroundings. No one's saying that our hood is not a safe space. It's just that we know that more and more things are happening in our world in general, and especially after the election, we seem to see that a lot of people are just being outright nasty to each other.
Yeah, and I almost think, did they start around the time of the election, or was it before that?
Just prior.
Okay. But people were getting pissed off before the election,
Right.
too. I mean, there was a lot, and I know that there's been in other places of the
Incidents of
country,
things,
there's been
right.
incidents just in general because people just got so pissed off that Obama was reelected, which of course we're thrilled about.
But it's just people just being not nice to each other. And so I think that this event that's coming on at
And I
One
kn-
Voice, and I'm trying to pull up the
And I
link as
know
well.
there is another event on December 11th, which is going to be a public safety town hall. Will be at the Community Church of Hope. But I'm looking here, launching public safety awareness campaign. But I can't find the actual date.
Well, then if
Anyways, you can always go
go to One
1V
Voice, right?
1vcc.org and get all the latest details.
Okay, it's coming. I've got it pulled up now. Let's
Okay.
see what's going on with
The
that.
internets are being
Very
not
slow in here
cooperative.
today.
We don't know. Maybe there's a cloud overhead or something like that. I don't know.
It's all those contrails that have been in the air lately, and I keep telling people that's like my allergies are up again right now. You see all those things in there, and I always say after that, you see these all squigglies up in the sky.
It's those airplanes that fall in
Then
the jet
stuff's
stream.
coming, stuff's going on. Okay, so it's telling us it's going to be, their meeting is no, it's giving us the other
You can't
meeting
find it either. I know.
on their sites, but it's not saying when theirs is.
There is a meeting coming up, and I believe it is this week. If you go to 1vcc.org,
right.
You will hopefully find the information.
Our contact, One Voice, you can call them as well. I don't have the number in front of me, but there are numerous
They have
ways
a
to
line,
find
yeah.
out what's going on. And with the other event, like you said, it's going to be at Community Church of Hope. That one is going to be on the 11th.
That's right. And also, for those of you who obviously don't have any idea what's going on because you're listening to us from somewhere else, but in your own local community, in terms of if you have felt there's been things going on or if you feel that you're unsafe, it's always good to take precautions.
Right.
And I think, one of the things is that Phoenix continues to evolve in terms of we haven't always had sort of the hood, the gay ghetto, the gayborhood, whatever you want to call it. And as that has developed, it's sort of in a way makes us more vulnerable because you have more people, more of us concentrated in an area. But it's still a thing of education. It's a thing of somehow working with these people who want to perpetrate these attacks and getting them to change their ways.
Right. Basically it's about understanding the workings of bias crimes and how to report and what to do and how to protect yourselves. I mean, there have been so many incidents, not necessarily just in the Valley of the Sun.
Right.
But as you said, worldwide. And knowing in the United States, I mean, there was a young woman in Louisiana, Alabama, just this past week on Thanksgiving Day.
I saw that.
That had visited her partner's family for Thanksgiving, and the brother of the partner that just lost it for some reason at the dinner table and decided to just beat her ass. Okay? So people you just don't know. You have to watch out, pay attention.
It can happen at home. I mean, it's yeah.
So anyway, not to make it a downer, because but be aware, watch your surroundings, know what's going on. Phone a friend, something.
Use a lifeline,
right.
Literally.
Exactly. That's it. So let's get into what a lot of people are talking about today.
And in fact, in our local world, I think probably one of the reasons we didn't really have any guests today was because they're all at the Sheraton, which I believe is happening right now.
It is. It's going on right now downtown Phoenix, and we are here and not at the Red Brunch.
Correct.
Because we are doing our part as being a part of the community.
That's right.
And dedicating this show today to World AIDS Day.
That's right.
Those who are fighting the battle, those who we have lost because of the disease.
And this is the 25th. Obviously, it was last year was 30 years since the first AIDS case really had been found, diagnosed.
Right. That first, we're saying that the epidemic began in 1981. We know that people are living longer. The trials that were done have really shown some progress, and
they really have.
And people have gone from taking multiple medications to cutting that down to half and much more for some people.
Yeah.
But on top of that, and knowing where and the progress and things that have been made, we also know that we still have a long way to go. And I think one of the most important things for us to do to get individuals to realize that HIV and AIDS does not discriminate.
No.
A lot of people have a tendency in the back of their minds still to think it's the gay epidemic, it's the gay disease. It doesn't care where you come from, what street you live on, how much money you got, the color of your skin,
what country you are.
Right, and if your eyes are blue, brown, or black, okay, it doesn't discriminate.
No.
So get yourself tested. Talk to your partners if you are sexually active, and do what you need to do to keep yourself safe. I think one of the things that gets me right now excited about this is the theme for this year is getting to zero.
That's right.
And they've taken a new tone in this because this will be the theme for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think getting to zero.
And I think it's a good one because it starts to show that there really is progress being made on a couple fronts, not only obviously the education front, trying to get it to the point where it's not growing anymore in terms of that the number of cases has leveled off or is dropping. But then also on the other side of the equation, you've got the research community that's been looking at all these different ways of either developing the vaccines, developing a cure, and better drugs for people to live longer, that ultimately it's both sides that are going to bring this down to zero.
Right. It is. And there was something this morning, it took me back and talking about the fact that we know that the first known documented cases that we were talking about began in say in 1981.
Mm-hmm.
But here in the United States, we know that there's been such a stigma for so long, and people are finally getting beyond that it's a diagnosis and you are going to die.
You're going to die, right?
You know,
No, go ahead.
and we have gotten beyond that, but we have to think of the true statistics. Every 9.5 minutes, someone in
That
the U.S.
shocked me.
is infected with HIV. 1 million are living with HIV in the United States. 1 in 5 don't know that they have it because they've not been tested. 33.4 million people HIV worldwide.
Yes. Which is, percentage-wise, compared to 6 or 7 billion people on the planet, it sounds like a small number, but it's still a large number because this HIV is, in many ways, it's so easily spreadable. But then again, also, it's so easily preventable with education and just playing things smart and safer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And talking about that, I'm going to take us to a place because we recently we had some ex-porn stars on the show.
And they were doing some live demos.
Live.
No.
Okay.
I wish that they had.
But we were talking about the aspect of barebacking.
That's right.
Okay, and we know that there are people that are out there that is what they're doing. There's also an epidemic now, and people need to talk about this as well, of people, as they're calling them, bug chasers.
I know, and I don't understand that one.
Okay, and for those of you who are out there, our allies and peoples even in the community don't know, barebacking, basically, it's sex without any condom, nothing, no barriers in between.
Right.
Bug chasers are those that are out there specifically trying
to get
the virus.
And there are some other people, because I, as a single gay man, I go on the various sites looking to eventually find someone. And
I go on the sites too, but not looking to find someone. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, yeah, you happily married.
Yes, but I still go on the sites. I love boys.
But anyway, babe is equal opportunity.
But see, I know, I love it.
Anyways, and there are people that are literally like, they go whatever direction.
Right.
They don't care. Some of them are. They don't. They're, I think, more of the, I'll take a risk and who cares. And so what I was going to bring it back to with the barebacking, with the prevention of the horrible conditions that people used to live with the disease. It's a little bit of a double-edged sword. So now you can live longer, but from the various people that we've talked to and that I've talked to, it's still not pleasant. I mean, you can take this pill a day and it doesn't have as many of the side effects, but this is still not something that you just want to get. You just don't want to be like, well, okay, I got it.
True.
And whatever. And I think that there's a cavalier attitude. And the other challenge has been, and I believe that they were trying to come down on some of these advertising companies in the various magazines, because they've had these ads for the various medications, and everyone just looks like, oh, they're having a great time, they're on cruises, they're just doing everything. And sure, they are, but you don't want to be lulled into sort of a false sense of security and be like, oh, well, we've been dating for 2 months and I love you so much.
Right.
Let's just throw caution to the wind. You just, unless you lock them up in a dungeon downstairs. But that's there is a community for that. And anyways, but that would be one way of, honestly dealing with it. But anyways, getting back to the real deal.
What we have to think about too is going back to that, and sure, there are things that are so much better than they were as far as research is concerned,
Correct.
as far as medications are concerned. As far as people living longer. But when you're talking about people that are doing things that are not safe,
Mm-hmm.
are putting themselves at risk, because we know the only true way of being completely 100% sure safe is not having sex. Okay,
Which
a lot of us. Okay,
yeah.
there's some celibate people out there. I give you praise, hallelujah. But
yeah,
anyway,
I don't know how you do
okay,
it. Maybe they just don't have maybe they're robots.
But anyway, either way, you think of it that right now, upwards of 60% of HIV infected youth between the ages of 13 and 24. That is also a lot of that age range of
recent information that came out. Yeah,
right. So that's thinking about those who are out there and putting themselves at risk because they think that there's an easy answer. There's not an easy answer. So, but this all brings us back to, again, in talking about these issues today, in recognition of things that are going on worldwide.
That's right.
Get yourself tested. If you don't feel comfortable in going to one of your local resources, look online for the CDC, find out if there's an adjoining state somewhere, do something, but still get yourself tested. But there's now a new test.
Yeah, and I think we'll get to this one after we talk about some little things coming up. But the other thing that I was going to say was a lot of this goes back to education, because I think about, there really wasn't sex education, or my conservative parents opted me out of it when I was growing up, which was not terribly long ago. But I have to think in this day and age with kids being born today, you know what I mean? There is some such sex education in schools. And of course, some of it doesn't really focus on the LGBT side because they're just, we want to shy away from that. But of course, as time goes on and those barriers come down, it needs to be talked about, because I can't imagine. I mean, obviously, teenagers are going to do what teenagers are going to do. Whether you're gay or straight, you're horny, your hormones are raging, and you just want to go do. You want to go do.
You just want to do it. You just want to do it. Okay, that's it.
But the thing is, people have to be taught about this, and we know that obviously parents don't always do a good job of this. For whatever reason that there is, whether it's just everyone thinks that society is going to hell in a handbasket, or whatever. But if it isn't taught by the parents at home, it should be part of something that can be, perhaps people could opt out of it based on religious beliefs, but it should be available in schools where you're going to know about this stuff, because it's important literally for the health of society. Because if it ran, obviously, without the prevention campaigns that have gone on for decades, obviously it would have been a lot worse. I mean, had we not developed these drugs to let people live longer, and had there not been, I don't know, if condoms were never invented, we would all be literally screwed.
Right.
So it is preventable. It's an easily preventable disease. And as we, again, move forward with the two prongs of trying to prevent it, also trying to cure it, ultimately, one of the articles was saying that actually they believe there was something done in Thailand a couple years ago, and they actually took two drugs that they had given individually that weren't successful, and when they gave it together, it had I think it was 33 or 34% rate of preventing someone from getting infected, which that was the highest rate that they had ever seen, and that was in 2009. So now they're actually predicting to have a vaccine that would have a 50% rate of not getting HIV by 2015, and potentially a real 80 and 90% vaccine by 2019, which that's fantastic. And that's coming. Technically that sounds so far away, but it's only 7 years away, and it's good news. It really is.
Progress is being made.
It is being made.
It's being made. We know that. We know that.
Good word to use, babe.
Yes.
She gets
what'd I get?
Bonus point for that.
Hey.
Progress right here on this show.
Is being made?
It's being made next week.
Okay.
100 episodes. Now, we know that Babe hasn't been with the show officially during those 100 episodes. What we have basically just made it that we sound like it's been done. But you've been here the majority of the time.
Right.
Because you joined me in April of last year. and I had been doing them weekly, basically by myself. But you were, of course, along with Michael Weekly, were the first guest in June, whatever it was, middle of June of 2010. And this is the first time, well, any of the shows have gotten to 100, number one. And even my original show that I started a couple of years ago that no longer is anything, that got to around 45 episodes. So this is definitely a milestone. The network itself is about to hit about 315 episodes, at least, that are still in circulation that we've done. I think total across the board, it would probably be close to 400,
400, right.
If Dr. Dina hadn't left. But it is a pretty major milestone. So we're telling everybody for next week. We're also talking to a lot of the guests that we've had on before. If you've been a guest on the show, if you've listened to the show, if you've been a fan of the show, we want you to chime in, chat with us, call in, leave a voicemail. You can use the 888 number, and we can play that on the air. We just want to have a wonderful, fun show with all of our previous guests, and we kind of want to take a trip down memory lane a little bit. And on that show, we're also going to talk about some exciting things coming up. Very exciting things for 2013, which we will officially announce. We'll finally let the cat out of the bag on a few things. And next week, we're also going to have a surprise of how we're going to do the show as well. We'll be doing the show, but obviously we're going to be adding a couple things to it as a preview of what's coming in January.
Right.
So it is exciting. We've got some kind of new music and some new little intro thing of how we're going to do it, and it'll be special.
It's always special.
It's always
special. We just like to keep you all surprised and wondering and wanting, and yeah, all of that.
And it's, I've said it to many people, it's just for both of us to now do this on a regular basis, and to, even though I've known you for years and years and years, I didn't know you as I know you now.
Yeah, we're on a whole different level now. See, yeah, and we grown folks together. See, so that's what that is. That's what that is. See.
And at the end of the year, I think the 22nd and 29th will be off on break. We'll put on like a best of show or something like that, or one of our previous episodes, because we'll be taking off some time for the end of the year, because it is December.
It is the holiday season. I know.
It is December.
If you think about it, okay, today is December 1st. 24 days.
Until the end of the world?
No,
I'm sorry. That's the 21st. That's the Mayan calendar.
Actually, that's the Mayan calendar coming up there. But, everyone has that big holiday experience in exactly 24 days.
It could be whenever a holiday experience. Because you guys and your family have like multi-holidays.
Yes, we will start with Hanukkah, going on through Christmas, and then Kwanzaa. So, think of Adam Sandler and what was the name of his song?
I don't know.
Anyway, look it up. Saturday Night Live, Adam Sandler. It's like you won't believe it. It'll take you there, okay? But my house is that crazy because we've got the whole mix and mesh of Jews and ex-Catholics and Christian people and black folks and all that mixed all up together. So my holiday is just like a mismatch.
Was it like McDonald's old slogan, food, folks, and fun?
Fun, that's it. Exactly. That's what it's all about. And it's just that in my house, it goes for days and days and days and days.
So that's why she's really taking the time off from the show.
Right, exactly, because I'll need to rest, okay? I will need to rest. But, I was thinking about that. We're talking about the fact that this big event's going on downtown right now. We're not there, and I was looking just online quickly, and it looks like there's a really good turnout.
Oh, congratulations to Aunt Rita's for selling this out.
Right.
I believe they had like 4 seats left, but all the tables were sold.
Right, and for their planning committee on this event, they got this going.
First annual event.
Yes, so
they did start the planning quite a long time ago, but definitely an awesome an awesome thing to behold.
It really should be. But and talking about that and taking us to another place there was someone had placed on Facebook earlier today the song that came out in about 2007, Annie Lennox, and it's called Sing.
Really?
She had gone to Africa and was working on a project with HIV and AIDS, and the women there in the community, which we know worldwide that Africa is one of the most impacted areas right now as far as the numbers are concerned. And somebody said, well, why are we talking about Africa? You know, this is a worldwide issue.
It is.
But the video is on YouTube, and it's called Sing, Annie Lennox, and it really gives you a feel of the struggle, but you see the faces of these babies and all of these things that are going on still, and knowing how many mothers and children are being affected and infected still. So check it out if you get a chance. Look on YouTube for Annie Lennox, and because we all love her anyway, you know, that posting this morning was just really powerful and touched me quite a bit. Okay, breathe. We're at a little over halfway of the show right now.
So, what was I going to say as I'm multitasking? So, I remember it was the first time I ever got tested for HIV was I had gotten out of a relationship, and I had, this was a very long time ago because I had to go back to live with my parents because I had moved in with someone probably too early in the relationship, and it didn't work out a year later or so. But I remember my mother was like, now you're going to go get tested because I don't care what you guys were doing or safe or not. She just wasn't going to let me not get out of that.
Right.
And even this was back in 98, and they did have the option back then for whether you could do the blood draw or you could do the oral sort of swab thing.
True.
And I'm not someone who likes needles. I don't like getting shots, and I don't like getting things pulled out of me either. Unless you're going to like maybe pay me for it or knock me out or something like that. Okay. Then you can do that. But anyways, I thought it was great that they had an alternative for people who don't like getting blood drawn. Obviously, it's a quick thing. It's really not that big of a deal. And actually, I really don't like the one that they just have to prick your finger because you never know when they're actually gonna do it. You're like, I don't look at it, and then this thing snaps, and you're just like, and it feels and it sounds worse than it is. But what they've made available, the same actual pharmaceutical company who makes these tests, which is called OraQuick, division of some whatever it is. Now it is called, actually I think it was called Aura.
It is.
Now it is OraQuick. And this
right.
is the version that you can do now at home. And it's not the type, because they've had for a couple years the kits where you could do the little blood draw thing, you mix it up, and you got to send it off to a lab and wait like a week for them to tell you what's going on, and you got to go through this whole rigmarole. Now you can literally go to the drugstore, or you can order it online and get it home, do it correctly, have it's kind of like a little toothbrush kind of thing that you just kind of hold, and you kind of swab your gum for a little bit, and you put it in this thingamajoober, and it turns like a line. It's got instructions, but it's fairly accurate, or it's mostly accurate, but it's not as perfect as a blood test. And because you're doing it at home and you could potentially screw it up, maybe it's not 100% accurate for that reason either. It is $40.
Right.
You can literally go to OraQuick, O-R-A, quick.com. You can buy it from there. You can find the information there. You can buy it, I think, from a couple other online pharmacies. It was announced a few months ago, and it was like, okay, coming soon, and then it was said, okay, now it's out. I think this will be a good thing. Obviously, not everyone can afford, for people who maybe have very active sex lives, you're not going to go out every week, I got to get another test, $40.
Right.
Because it still follows the same thing, the same rules, that you can't detect it instantly after you did something bad.
True.
You can't. It's still that waiting.
There's
period.
their window
6 weeks,
period
right?
there that's still there. That window period is still there. But the thing of it is I think people will find this if they know that they've done something to put themselves at risk, or they know that they've put off being tested and they would prefer to do it in the privacy of their own home. This is very much set up like, basically set up like for people that are going to do an at-home pregnancy test. So
That's true.
it's
That's true.
like, you know, depending upon your following directions correctly, you know, as far as the outcome is concerned, and everyone has to realize that you have to read directions, you have to follow the directions as they're stated, and then you always want a second opinion. Okay?
That's right.
So it's like that $40 that you spent, you still want to go and find out afterwards just to be sure, you know, and just because you're tested once
That's right.
does not mean that you're forever safe. There is a window period.
Right. And the test itself, I think, it's like 97 or 99%, which is
Right.
amazing. But the other thing is it is not a test for everything. It doesn't check for all the other little STD buggers that you can get.
Right.
Of which, you know, here locally, and I know that around the country there is subsidized testing at various, whether it's health clinics or the bars sometimes have it. I know here a different number of locales. What's a number outside of our local county health? I mean, there's a couple other
People can.
places,
They're doing testing as well through One Voice. They do. We do testing at Offshoot 2. There's testing at a couple of places. Even a couple of the bars now are doing it and setting up there. So there is, besides for going to your local county health offices or your local physician, you can also go to Planned Parenthood.
That's
There
right.
are numerous places, people, and so
And without,
again,
go
do
ahead.
it.
Yeah, do it. Without touting any one of them specifically, I know County Health, because I've gone there a couple times, it's sort of a good deal. $20, you get like tested for everything.
Right.
And I think that almost includes whatever treatment. So it's available, it's out there, and it's just a good idea to know what's going on with your body, because you can have this and not know. Even though the people that I talk to who have it, they're like, "Oh, I knew." Because it changed, because you get it and something just changes and you feel weird and all this stuff. But I guess some people don't have symptoms because everyone's different. So
Right.
the thing is, you know, we don't want to make the whole show like, wow, just go test it. You know, we don't want to make that like, what's her name? What's her name? Released that video a couple of years ago, the big drag queen out of California, Wrap It Up. Remember that? Who's the big...
I'm lost.
I'm a bad gay.
I'm lost. I'm lost. I guess I'm going to lose some rainbow points today too, because
Yeah.
I can't tell you who it is. Okay, but that's okay.
Whatever it was.
As long as we're
Whatever
saying
she
that
was. But
you
she
know,
had a
wrap
good
it.
message. Yeah,
Wrap
wrap it
it.
up. Do whatever you got to do.
Right.
Be safe, so you're going to be around.
If it don't smell good, it don't feel right. You need to quit it. Okay.
And sometimes if it feels too good, don't do it.
do it right.
It's sort of like what we were talking about with the porn thing, and the ex-porn actors Philip Ashton and Jake Woods, who were on the show, were talking about it as that it's bad for the industry because of that same issue, that even though yes they test their adult performers on a regular basis, the challenge, I know it's so funny, is
Performers. I know.
they're porn models. They have sex. They're beautiful. Anyways, the thing is that you could be tested and you could be clear, and then 2 days before a shoot you could go get it. Because because they went out and did something naughty, and then they do a shoot and they're doing barebacking, and they could then instantly give it to someone else, and it wouldn't show up
Right.
on a test. And they may not say anything about it, and so it's a challenge. It does satisfy sort of a fantasy that people have, but it's putting the people who are creating it at risk.
Right.
Unless, again, they put them all on a separate planet or a desert island, and they don't let them leave for a year.
Yeah, because people have to take it back to, you know, if you think about, for every person that you're sleeping with the last 10 people that they slept with. Okay, and even if they only slept with 3, okay, still, you got that in your mind. You still have got that 3-person chance of that someone had some type of bug. Okay, and so pay attention to that, people. Watch what you're doing, and I'm talking to grown folks as well as our youth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, know what you're doing.
I wonder, and I didn't find this in any of the articles, I wonder why it wound up on December 1st. Why December? Why not, like, April or July? I don't know.
I don't know that either, but I think when initially, because there was this big health minister conference or something that was done around this time of the year, and they were reaching out to the World Health Initiatives were reaching out to different groups, and I think that it ended up that this was just decided as an off time for other issues, and it just wound up with this date. So again, the theme for this year's observance is getting to zero. And so they're saying basically meaning no new or zero HIV,
no new infections. They want to bring it down to
right
to zero.
And zero AIDS-related deaths, and that's what they're looking to: zero discrimination and zero AIDS-related deaths. So this special theme, again, like I said earlier, is going to be repeated until 2015, and they are pushing this as they're trying to get people greater access to treatment for everybody. And then that brings us into the issue of universal health care. That gives us a way, too, to think about,
exactly
services that could be offered, smart decisions, again, being made worldwide as far as our national or international health is concerned.
And, you think about it, because the challenge with healthcare here has always been, well, okay, if you get something and you can't afford it, you're going to be scared that you're going to be stuck with all these bills, or even if you have health insurance, maybe it's not that good and you're still going to get stuck with bills. And I hate to bring up sort of the fantasy world that my brain likes to live in sometimes, but if you look at some of these portrayals of the future, however people would like to see it, sci-fi based or Star Trek and all these things, some of these portrayals talk about where the human race basically got over itself and decided to help each other out, and you never see Dr. Crusher on Star Trek going, well, that'll be $50 because I healed your little wound there.
Right.
No,
right.
I mean, at the end of the day, healthcare is something that should be provided. It should be something that the human race should be taking care of itself, and when that happens, it will empower people as well, because you will know that you can be cared for if you get something. But that, along with other changes that are going to continuously happen over the next coming years and decades, both here and around the world, people also just have to be a little more responsible. And that ties in with just everything in terms of people who may overeat. Maybe it's for some reason or whatever, and then they're susceptible to various diseases, and then the complaint from various people as well that they're a burden on the healthcare industry, and we can't provide free healthcare to these people because they just don't take care of themselves. But obviously there's a larger issue. But I think that as we get closer to, and universal health care, at least at this point, does not mean it's just free. You walk into anywhere and you're like, hey, I just had a heart attack. I need, not you would be saying that, but, I need this done. Oh, okay, sir, we'll just sign on this dotted line and it's all just gratis and there's no issue. It's not that it's going to be 100% free. That may not happen for quite some time, but it's going to be affordable. And I think that's what the whole thing was, the Affordable Care Act. Is kind of leveling the playing field. Why is it that some people can afford a good doctor and some people cannot?
Right.
People should just be able to afford good medical care and preventative medical care, and being able to go see someone and somewhere.
Right.
That's not just you're afraid to go because you don't trust them. Like, I think also that there should be more, and I think this has changed over the years in terms of doctors dealing with gay patients, because we have, again, because we do some different things, we are susceptible to different little things that can happen to us, and it can be embarrassing for some people to talk about. And I know that I have a gay doctor, and it's more comfortable to go to him than it would maybe someone who is going to be like, well, why do you have this going on? Well, it just makes it more comfortable and so forth. So I'm almost advocating also there should be more gay doctors. There should be more, you know what I mean? I mean, There should just be, the medical profession should be that it is, I'm getting off topic here, but it should just be that we can go see almost anyone and not feel embarrassed to talk about any kind of condition that you got going on.
You need to build that relationship with your physician, no matter what, gay, straight, allies, whoever anything, you might, however you identify. You want to feel comfortable with your physician, okay? And whether or not you're going to your general practitioner or specialist, you're going into a health clinic facility, you want to be able to be open and honest about actions and behaviors to get the results that you really want and the treatments that you need.
That's right.
So I think basically that's what we're saying is, again, not hold back because you think that you're going to be ostracized, you're going to be looked at differently because of, this is about you living, people, and surviving, not about dying and worrying about, what actions have caused what. Got anybody in the chat room? Anybody call us? Anybody talk to us?
I think all of our friends are at the Red Brunch downtown.
I know. I'm looking at Facebook here, and I'm looking, and everybody's posting all of these wonderful pictures.
Should we just crank call somebody?
And I'm just really upset that because they look like they're having good food too, and we're not even in on the food thing. We love food.
We should call like Michael Weekly or
actually,
CJ.
Or somebody, but it's like I just saw a picture of Stacey J and Donald Smith. We've got picture of Cato. Everybody having a good time. Reverend Charlotte just put a post on there that she was there. All these people, really making a difference and supporting Aunt Rita's, which I'm really happy and proud that they're doing this on this World AIDS Day and its 25th anniversary today.
Great day for them to start it out.
Right, and
and I think, and because we're almost done, and this is going to be. Once you get the podcast, I think it's over as of the later today, but from what I understood, they were going to actually have part of the AIDS quilt there, and it was going to be in the area that was more publicly accessible, and it was going to be available either the whole rest of the day, possibly the whole weekend, but don't quote me on that. Right. So obviously, by the time most people hear this, it's going to be too late. But I thought that was a really nice thing that they were doing.
Right, and I do believe that someone's having a candlelight vigil tonight. That there is supposed to be a vigil that's put on by one of the local.
I didn't even see that
bars and in support of Aunt Rita's. I believe
check Facebook.
It's seriously,
probably there.
It's probably there, and it's not Cobalt, but it is either Apollo's but somebody's doing that, and it will and it right at about dusk tonight.
It should be about 6 o'clock. Is it
right?
It is. It's just me that I think we definitely got caught up to December because. It was literally like 5 minutes to 6 the other day, and I was walking out of work, and I'm like, how is it that it got dark so fast, so soon? What happened
weird.
to July?
The time change, with the time change, we know we don't go through that change.
But somehow it still affects
the
sun.
Seriously, since the time change, at the beginning of the end of the month or whenever it happened, within this past week, it's like
boom.
Darker later in the mornings.
Yeah.
It's getting darker quicker in the afternoon.
Something happened to the galaxy.
Yeah, it did. I think so.
Because I'm just like, 6? Really? Normally it's not that quite dark until like the end of December. Because, we're coming up on the solstice and December 21st or 22nd. And, of course, according to the Mayan calendar.
The last day.
The last day of the year.
Right.
Which the Mayan jokes continue to come out quicker and quicker on Facebook.
I've seen more and more, and some of them are really good.
Some of them are really, yeah. It's just like, wow. And, they have our show that does they keep track of it for us, which, of course, is the Trainwreck, the show with Clayton McKee on Tuesday nights.
Right.
They will be here on Christmas night as well, the 25th, which is oddly on a Tuesday. But so they'll be here. Ooh, I have to work the next day. Do I? I don't remember. That'll suck. Oh, well. Hopefully no one from my office is listening. But anyways. But I'll be here. I think I'm going to celebrate with them. Unless I'm out and about doing something else. But you can celebrate with them. You can celebrate with us. And, of course, you can find us most weeks because we're here most weeks except for during kind of the holiday season. And, of course, next week it's the big 1-0-0.
It's going to be our birthday. It's going to be our birthday. Yep, it is.
It's going to be pretty cool.
I know we're wrapping up, but I think as we're talking about this and ending up, I want people to think about what you can do on this World AIDS Day yourself. Is that, it's not just about raising money for funds for research, but about increasing awareness and education. So go to the web. Get tips, advice, and ideas and how you can aid in the fight against HIV and AIDS in your neighborhood, in your workplace, in your school or classroom, in your own personal life as far as getting tested. Just make a difference. Get out there and do something.
And talk to other people. Don't be afraid to sort of have these conversations. Or if someone asks you the question, if you're sort of in the role of being a mentor to anyone, don't shrug it off, be like, well, just read a book, but because that's important, especially to the younger generation, because obviously, again, like we said, the statistic, there's such a large percentage because the young people somehow still think the youth aren't playing around, but they are.
They are. And we're also looking at the numbers. A lot of seniors are the numbers.
We didn't
as
even
far
touch
as,
on that, but
but a lot of seniors are being affected right now because
seniors are getting it on. Thanks to Viagra.
Yeah. They doing the do, okay? And you've got a lot of people that have been in prison that are out now and in heterosexual relationships that don't know what happened inside those prison walls, okay? And you also got people that are out there that just hoes, okay? No matter whether they're gay or straight, that just right there we go. Okay, see,
that's what we got for that one.
So just do what you need to do, people, to protect yourselves and continue on. All right.
As we get to the end of the show, I was about to do crickets.
I heard that.
Going. So it's been a good show, and I think we've given you a lot of information. It actually went by pretty quickly, as a lot of our shows do. Next week, call in. Tell your friends. We're going to be doing a lot of blitzkrieging about the 100th show. And we'll also be having, I think Michael Weekly's going to be here. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to have some people in the studio from a great comedy show that's coming up soon.
And we're also going to have, I think, one of our call-in people is going to be about the new show that launches in January, which is called What the Tea, which I didn't really get that until they explained it to me. It is a youth, kind of more younger Latino generation kind of show. It'll be on Thursday nights starting in January from 7 to 9, hosted by DJ Image and his cadre of people. And they're going to tell us a little bit about what they're going to do. And it's going to be a pretty crazy show in January that they're going to launch. But next week, check us out. Of course, you can always find us on Google+, Twitter, Facebook, the web at qtalkamerica.com, iTunes, and soon, within hopefully the next 24 hours, we'll be listed actually on the News Talk category of iTunes Radio. So if you have any device that supports iTunes Radio, you can listen to the live stream that way, as if you couldn't get it any other way.
Right, but we're out there,
so
okay?
We'll be talking
find us.
To you. Yeah, find us. We're like everywhere. And more people are finding us all the time, which is really great. So otherwise, check us out. Have a wonderful week.
Have a good week, too.
Yeah, I'm Joe DeGanzik.
And I'm Babe Kaler.
For the Joe and Babe Show, number 99, about to turn 100.
Hey.
On your favorite Merry Gay Talk Radio Network, Q Talk America. We'll talk to you next week.